A lot of people wonder who was the best young athlete in wrestling not to be a champion, the best of the 1980s. And a lot of names come to mind, but one of these stand out. We knew something was going on, that was he was getting groomed to be NWA world champion, but were not for a major car accident, he would have been champion. Of course, is Terry Allen, or we like to call him affectionately Magnum T.A. He won the NWA United States Heavyweight Championship twice, and again was being groomed for a potential run with the NWA World title. But a car crash in '86 forced him into retirement. After leaving the ring, TA continued to appear in non-wrestling roles for multiple promotions. Now, when he started wrestling in '78, he joined the NWA, where he began competing for the Championship Wrestling Association from Florida and the Pacific Northwest Wrestling Territories. While in the CWF, he won the Global Tag Team title on 5 occasions before then moving to Mid-South. Upon debuting in Mid-South, Allen renamed himself Magnum T.A. and adopted a character known as the American Heartthrob, based on Allen's slight resemblance to actor Tom Selleck, who at the time was starring in the popular TV series Magnum P.I. He then adopted a ring name after Andre the Giant suggested that he combine the Magnum name with the initials of his real name. After competing in Mid-South, he won the North American Heavyweight title, his first major crown, after defeating Mr. Wrestling 2 on May 13, 1984. Magnum, 6'1", solid 245, would hold the title for 5 months before it lost it to the Cat, Ernie Ladd, on October 16th. Now, on November 22nd, Magnum lost to Ladd via DQ in a title rematch. Now, in '84, NWA's Jim Crockett Promotion signed Allen. After debuting, he began feuding with Wahoo McDaniel and defeated him for the U.S. crown in March of '85. At the Great American Bash, he defended the title by defeating Kamala. He then began feuding with the Four Horsemen before feuding solely with Horseman member Tully Blanchard and his valet Baby Doll, losing the title to him on July 21st. On September 28th, he lost to the Horsemen's leader Ric Flair in a nearly tournament title match for Flair's World Heavyweight title. Magnum would eventually regain the U.S. crown in the famous I Quit match at Starrcade on November 28th of that year. Now, in April 1986, he began feuding with Ivan Koloff, who started proclaiming that his nephew Nikita would become the U.S. heavyweight champion. Now, Jim Crockett Jr. set up a contract signing for Magnum to defend his title against Nikita in May. At the signing, Magnum brought his mother Marion, while Nikita brought Ivan. However, Nikita insulted Magnum's mother during the signing, instigated a fight. Then President of the NWA, Bob Geigel, issued a public reprimand against Magnum for conduct unbecoming a champion. Magnum replied, "Reprimand this," while punching Geigel. As a result, he was stripped of his title and was put up in the best-of-7 series between Magnum and Nikita. After losing the first 3 matches in a row to Nikita, he began a comeback, winning the next 3 matches to keep the series going. In a tie-breaking match on August 17, '86 in Charlotte, he defeated Magnum to win the title with the help from Ivan and Crusher Khrushchev. However, a total change in wrestling history occurred just a short while later. On October 14, '86, Allen was driving his Porsche in the rain and lost control, wrapping the car around a telephone pole. The crash occurred on Sardis Road in Charlotte, only a couple of miles from his home. Initially, investigators believed he was speeding, but forensic reports showed he was driving the speed limit, and he was left in his car for 2 hours before a witness called 911. The wreck caused the C4 and C5 vertebrae to explode, and it was doubtful at the time if he would ever walk again. Doctors at Carolina's Medical Center said Allen's physical conditioning saved his life. The right side of his body was paralyzed for months, ending his in-ring career. Now, losing Allen as a wrestling promoter prompted NWA booker Dusty Rhodes to turn Nikita Koloff, Allen's last rival prior to the wreck, into a babyface. According to the storyline, Koloff gained respect for Magnum from the feud and wanted to take his place. Now, this was memorialized in the spring edition of Wrestling 87 magazine, which was a large photograph of Koloff with the words, "I cry for Magnum T.A." beside him. Prior to his wreck, Magnum was to win the U.S. title for the 3rd time before being groomed to become NWA title holder. Magnum's first on-screen appearance following the wreck was on TBS's Super Towns on the Superstation in an interview with Tony Schiavone. His first appearance in front of a live crowd following the wreck, he could get upstage on the end of a cane to referees. He walked to the ringside to praise Dusty and Nikita, who would go on to defeat Tully and Lex for the Turner Championship. Magnum, as the boss Magnum T.A., then eventually hosted an interview segment titled Straight Talk Now, on May, Magnum later worked as a commentator for NWA, UWF, and World Championship Wrestling, WCW, and also served as a manager for Rhodes and Koloff. His last angle in WCW in March '88, he was attacked by his former rival, Tully Blanchard, which prompted Dusty Rhodes to come to the aid of his friend. Rhodes was subsequently suspended and returned as a Midnight Rider, managed by Magnum. After Rhodes signed with Championship Wrestling from Florida, and later the WWF, Koloff signed with the AWA. Magnum left JCP as well, although he would make sporadic reappearances with the promotion until '93 at Slamboree. Now, on May 20, 1995, Allen appeared as part of a Legends recognition at Smoky Mountain Wrestling's Carolina Memory Show in Charlotte. On January 14, 2005, he also made an appearance as a guest at the Exodus Wrestling Alliance. He would later appear for the Carolina Wrestling Association in the corner of Jason Jones during Jones' loss to George South Jr. on May 21st. At the event tribute to Starrcade on November 19th, Magnum stood in Rhodes' corner as he lost to Tully Blanchard. On June 24, 2007, Allen, as Magnum T.A., made his first appearance for World Wrestling Entertainment at their Vengeance Night of Champions pay-per-view, where he was noted as a former U.S. champion. Now, Allen had attended high school in Norfolk Collegiate in Norfolk, Virginia. He was a member of the collegiate wrestling team and won the state title in a 167-pound division. After graduating high school, he attended Old Dominion. Now, Allen is stepfather to Tessa Blanchard, who moved in with him and his siblings and her mother, Courtney Shattuck, at age 4. He works as a manager at a network solutions company and currently resides in Charlotte. Now, just to go over the rough stats. He's billed from being Virginia Beach, Virginia, but he was from Chesapeake. Now he turns 64 this year, later on this year. Active for 8 years, of course. Now, titles and accomplishments: Championship Wrestling from Florida. He was the NWA Florida Global Tag Team title winner 3 times with Scott McGee, once with Dusty Rhodes, and of course once with Brad Armstrong. The George Tragos Lou Thez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Lou Thez World Heavyweight Championship Award 2017, Jim Crockett Promotions, NWA title holder twice, Mid-South, North American champion twice, and tag team holders with Duggan and Mr. Wrestling twice. He was ranked number 73 of the 500 best singles wrestlers of the PW years in 2003, and of course the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame Museum class of 2020. Now, I don't expect he's going to go in the WWE Hall of Fame, but for his impact with NWA, WCW, the overall feuds with the Four Horsemen, you take the feuds of the Four Horsemen, it's Dusty and Magnum T.A. And he would have made a tremendous world champion, but things can occur. There's many accidents through the years that have taken out wrestlers. I think he was just lucky to be alive. He probably could have tried to come back, but he didn't have the technology at the time. So that's the story of the great and talented and a very, very popular Magnum T.A. If you like what we're doing here with our Vintage Wrestling Podcast, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share, or a super chat. Thanks for listening. Bye.